Hi everyone, thanks for joining. We're over here at Stillhouse Farms, Graham, North Carolina, where they have taken the clearing of the new housing development all the way down to the creek. And this is our main spot. This is the spot where all the photorealistic portraits that are painted on crystal are located. So if you're out here in Graham, North Carolina, I suggest you guys come out here and check it out while you still can. You'll still be able to come out later, I'm sure. And I want to talk a little bit about trespassing laws. So the state owns all the waterways. So as long as you're in the water, on the waterway, you will not be trespassing. You can walk right through people's owned property by staying in the waterways. Now, I should do a little disclaimer. I'm not a lawyer. Check your own state laws. But most of the country is like that. The waterways are owned by the state. Some more things about trespassing is that sometimes you'll get approached by, someone will call, which has happened to me before. Some Nancy will call the cops saying that they see you, out in a construction site or anywhere else. And so you might be approached by a law enforcement officer asking for your identification, and you do not have to give that to them because you have not broken any laws. They'll say, "What about trespassing?" And you don't have to say anything, because unless the person who owns the property is the complainant, unless you have been asked to leave by them, or if they're calling because they see you on their property, then that is the only way that they could get you to leave. They can't make you leave, or even, now I suggest you leave, but they can't have you trespassed. There's no law that is broken just because some other person, some random person, called and said that you looked suspicious, right? I've had to deal with it before here at this site, where some neighbor sees me walking through and they call. You're not trespassing on their property. And so it's also illegal for them to solicit a trespass. So soliciting a trespass is going to the homeowner or the landowner and asking them if you're allowed to be on that property. If they're not the one that called you originally, or called the officers originally, or afterwards, or whenever, if they don't have a complaint, then they can't go to that person and say, "Hey, we want to know if this person is allowed on your property or not. If not, then we'll trespass them," right? That's called soliciting a trespass, which is illegal. Beautiful face stones here. You can see these profile images sticking out. Beautiful woman statue here. You can see the eye in a few different spots there. Whenever you're trespassing, you never want to dig or try to collect any gold or anything like that. You don't want to take any kind of trees or destroy. Look at all these gateways just falling out. You can see how the face is pointing downward. See the nose and the mouth and the eye right here? It's just the statue right there. But you never want to destroy, of course, anything. That goes without saying. Some of this stuff will go without saying, right? Be respectful. I always bring bags with me so that I can pick up trash while I'm out here. If I see some cans of soda or things like that, I like to be able to pick them up and get them out of here. Just some tips to you, so you guys can feel okay about going out into your creeks and into your rivers to find things. This is stone. It looks like wood, doesn't it? It's a beautiful bird stone. And you can see how the tail is done for this bird. Ooh, big old spider on me. Get that off me. Ugh. Nasty, get off me. Get off me, I say. Whew. So I just don't want you guys to be scared to go out and explore. It's a big benefit of living out here in North Carolina, is you can go out and get into nature, go out and visit these indigenous sites, go out and see all these faces on these stones yourself. And just don't want you guys to be frightened. And I don't want you guys to be harassed either. So, of course, you know, if anything ever happens, you could take care of it later. If they want you to leave, say the police show up and they just want you to leave, then leave. But you don't have to identify yourself unless the person who owns the property has complained. If some other Nancy in some other area, if this wasn't my property and I saw somebody else over here and I called the cops on them, right? Said, oh, this person's trespassing, right? I don't own this property. They can't do anything to that person. They can approach them and ask them for whatever, but they haven't broken a law. So North Carolina is not a stop and ID state. We're not living in Soviet Russia out here. We're not living in a communist country. And we have to kind of remember that. Use your rights and know your rights, because you guys have probably found while exploring this stuff that sometimes you can get harassed. It's happened to me a few times. With that out of the way, I'm in one of my favorite spots in the whole entire world. And that is this area here, which is known for its gateway artifacts. Now, when you see these artifacts on other people's channels, and you see them around the country, this is the place where all of them are. No other place has this many, where there are just crystal after crystal of these high-level. Looking closely, you can see the circle. You might not be able to see these details yet, but there's little silhouettes and images on these, and the mammoths on them as well. It's fascinating. We have several to go through today. I'm really excited about being out into this spot. Not super happy about all the construction that has just completely decimated this area. However, that's all right. We're not going to talk about that too much, but you can see how we found some of our best artifacts here, of course. You see how the diamond eye is done on this. The gorilla was found right here. The first gateway piece with the photorealistic portrait was found here. The girl statue was found here. Everything, just about everything was found here, this location. Beautiful statue of a bird. You can see these, looking for the longest point as being the nose. You see these little silhouettes in here. I don't need to walk very far and don't need to walk very fast, because there are so many great ones right here. This looks like one of the red ones here. It's got a little bit of the red color in it. But we can see our little totem fella there. And if you look at that red color, when the sun gets on it here, let's bring it into the sun a little better if I can find a good spot for that. There we are. So you'll see in the red color itself, the painting. Not necessarily looking at this outside edge of the stone, but actually just looking at the red. See the lips down here. It's our duck head with the round head and the pointy rounded beak. This is the land of the bird. Whoops. I usually don't drop them. It's really nice to see all this culture here. There's some very large gateway here. Big head statue. Wow, that's a really pretty one. I'm hoping that you guys can see this. See how the nose and the eye, it's just a big face. That is a fancy one. Just like a skull, right? Isn't that beautiful, guys? So, as I said, Stillhouse Farms, Graham, North Carolina, which is right between Greensboro and Raleigh. That's where all this is located. We have alligator head artifacts out here. Huge blades and axes. You can see this huge one with this very large sharpened edge on it. Some very pretty examples here. There's so much to see. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to tell you about trespassing laws or exploring in general. If you're in the waterway, you're not trespassing. This is state property. Doesn't matter if this side and this side has this private land. It makes no difference. If you're in the water, you're fine. No one can shoot you for merely trespassing. They can't pull a gun on you. They can't do any of that stuff. So don't be afraid. Don't be scared about going outside. Some of this stuff has just recently washed out. So you see this knife here. This is a wooden knife, or perhaps a spear tip. But you can see the way it's done, how it's sharpened into a knife where the handle is here. Very thin and beautiful. So all these ceremonial pieces are coming out of the sides of the creek as this creek continues to get wider and wider. Put this one in my pocket. I like that knife. Some very beautiful gateways here. I'm pretty happy because the quality of the water has improved. I don't see the fish in it and the shrimp and stuff like I was before, but I can tell that things are getting better for the water anyway. There's just more of it, I guess, is what it is. So I like this area right here. There's a lot of sun, so we can see underneath in the water here. So get after it. If you don't believe this stuff, or your friends don't believe it, the only way that they're going to believe it is if they see it themselves. And that's the truth of the matter there. They won't see it until they notice every time you have these lips, the nose, and then that circle eye. Over and over and over again on every single stone. That's the only way that they're going to be convinced of it. Because if someone just tells you that, tells you what we know, people lie. People say a lot of weird things, right? So we're constantly getting bombarded with BS. So I don't blame them. But I do hold them accountable when they won't go out and look for themselves. Like our state archaeologists, who won't come out. Any of our archaeologists won't get from behind their desks and do any kind of investigation on anything. They have these pre-written responses that they give you. And we deserve more than that. Indention for the mouth, the nose, and then that little circle eye underneath. This is a recessed face version, they call it. Of course, we have more portraits on the other side, but simply story stones. Photo albums. Picture stones, if you would. Lots of great ones here. Oh, well, I'm so happy to be out here. All right, I got a nice little pile there that we'll take with us. You guys know I'm giving away a lot of artifacts and need to replenish. Need to keep on studying and learning more. So, excited today to come back out here. We did a little bit of walking around the decimation and destruction that took place right next to this area. So I got rid of all my sadness that I have over that situation over there, though it's still pretty rough for me to take it all in. All those burials, all those mounds. They're no longer just under threat. They're gone. They're gone. Like I said in that video, they told me, good luck getting anyone to care. I'm glad that you guys do. I'm glad that we have over 100, signatures, pardon me, on the petition now. Over 100 people signed that petition. It's a beautiful thing. It's awesome to know that there's other people that care about history, because this stuff connects all of us. It's so old, it has mammoths on it. Prehistoric birds. I love this big fat bird. So that recessed beak over there on the left-hand side, he's like a meme. And he repeats on a lot of the different stones. But they're just, when you learn this art, you become kind of part of the culture of these. You get to know them, at least. You get to know their art styles, and they couldn't talk to you. They couldn't speak their words to you, but they could share their art with you. And when you study the art for as long as we have, some of us more than 3 years, but just for myself, 3 years of doing this. It's getting real deep here. I'm going to come around. It's not like you're one of them, but you get to know them. You get to know their state of mind, how they were humorous. They liked cute things. They liked tradition. They liked experimenting and even doing new things. They're just like us. Just like we are today. The same kind of mind level, the same level of intelligence, the same respect for their parents and their children, and love. They had it all, just like we do today. They weren't savages, they weren't just warriors. They made a whole lot more than weapons, a whole lot more than just arrowheads. They made birds, pictures of their grandma and grandpa. They made little monkey characters, whales. They were teaching each other things. They didn't have books. They didn't have paper. They didn't have a written language. But they had pictures. And these are their photo albums. They're very permanent photo albums. So I urge you guys to go back and just see from the beginning videos of what this creek looked like 3 years ago. How narrow it was, how it was nowhere near this deep. And we're in the same area. But the creek has completely widened, at least 4 feet on each side. And the local landowner said there were never even any stones in this creek beforehand. There were no rocks. All of the construction washed all this stuff out very recently, which is why these artifacts are still painted. Burnt, like this blackened, burnt piece of white crystal. That's a beautiful one. I don't know if that's crystal though, to be honest. I thought it was, but it's not. But we can see how they're put into the ground here. How they just continue to get washed out with every big rain. They just fall out of the banks. And underneath here, it's hard to see, but underneath here is all carved bedrock. They built this creek. They're not creeks, they're canals. They packed all their effigies into the sides of them and built it. They called it the Stone Age for a reason. It's because if we're walking around today, our ancestors used stone tools. If you're alive today, they did. You think that your family were never cavemen? Well, where did you come from then? Your ancestors survived and lived and drew pictures and carvings of human beings on stones. Every single one of us, if we're walking today, have this in our history. We have this in our blood. There would have been no way for you to be here otherwise, unless you think you were brought here by aliens. And I know probably some of you do. Some of you might have been brought here by aliens. Who knows? My best artifacts, all of my artifacts come from this area. Come from this spot. So today, after seeing all the destruction going on, I just wanted to let you guys know exactly where it was because I've kind of kept it quiet. But I don't think I need to do that anymore. I think you guys should come out here and get after it. You can see it on Google very easily. It's right by the Sheets. Over here in Graham, North Carolina. Stillhouse Farms. It's the name of the housing development that destroyed everything. Now, I didn't go to Stillhouse Farms office like I did at the Finley Landing where all the clay artifacts were. Finley Landing, I went up to the office and told them about what I found. I never did that with Stillhouse Farms. And I still haven't gone and talked to the landowners or the people who bought all these houses to tell them what's in this creek. But I think that's in my future. This is not even a creek anymore. It's like a river. Amazing how deep and how big it's gotten. Unfathomable. It's been about 6 months since I've been down here, maybe a little more. And I didn't want to come down here just because I knew all the destruction was going on. They've taken out so much. But today I'm glad I did. So, local landowners use this trail. People that live over to the right of us. And they're friendly enough. Like I said, you know, you be respectful, don't litter. Pick up trash while you're out here. Bring a bag and pick up trash if you find any. Like that red stuff right there. Little whatever kind of stuff floats down, you know. Go ahead and grab it up. And if anyone ever does ask you what you're doing out here, you can always just say, I'm picking up trash. Cleaning up the environment. And you really are. You won't be lying. And you'll be looking at rocks at the same time. Because, boy oh boy, there's so much to see out here. Both large versions and small. See if the dinosaur rock is out. Might be covered up with water right now. But one of the local landowners calls one of these rocks down here the dinosaur rock. I bring my old friend from the neighborhood and his kid up here. I brought quite a few people out here. Local indigenous representative guy came out here one time with me. Had this fella in this house over here ask me what I was doing one time. You'll get attention when you're out here. They'll ask you what you're doing sometimes. Oh, there's the dinosaur rock. It's right here. Oh, it's a huge spider web blocking it. Sorry, Mr. Spider, but I gotta get over here. The people want to see. So you can see all the markings and carvings and stuff on that. All the lines. Kind of looks like flesh to me. There's a lot to be seen on that. And there's a whole lot more all the way up the creek here. Very beautiful area. So, to recap, don't worry about trespassing. Don't worry about having to feel like you're a prisoner in your house, because you're not. I've been doing this for 3 years. And you can get after it too, just the same as I have. Just gotta know your local laws, know your rights, don't break any laws, and be respectful about places that you visit, and you'll be just fine. All right, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I hope you get after it. You got Saturday and Sunday. You got the weekend of the deal here. Make the most of it. Bye-bye.